Like a movie that you watch for the third time, you would see things that you never saw the first time. All right, let's start the story of Thamud. And Thamud was a city back in ancient days. Lo, Thamud, whose confident, no, it was a man. Lo, Thamud, whose confident wife, whose name was Yadisha, was the son of Eber and Hudith. Eber, which means to cross to the other side from where the word Hebrew or Ivory comes. It means crossed over. Thus, this is the real father of the Hebrews from Abraham to Jesus. Eber, who is called in tones Ibir, and in rhythm Hud, born in the year 17 and 20 and 3, who was the son of Shelah, and his confident wife, Hudith, born in the year 16 and 30 and 9, who was the son of Arphaxad, and his confident wife, Hamath, born in the year 16 and 50 and 8, who was the son of Shem, and his confident wife, Phaethon, born in the year 15 and 50 and 6, who was the son of Utnapishtim, that's Noah, and his confident wife, Naamah, born in the year 10 and 56, who was the son of Lamech, and his confident wife, Camilla, born in the year 870 and 4, who was the son of Methuselah, and his confident wife, Naila, born in the year 680 and 7, who himself was the son of Adapha, Enoch, and his wife, Caleb, also called Telmizah, born in the year 620 and 2, who was the son of Jared, and his confident wife, Silham, born in the year 460, who was the son of Mahalalel, and his confident wife, Hannah, born in the year 390 and 5, who was the son of Canaan, and his confident wife, Leah, born in the year 320 and 3, who was the son of Enos, and his confident wife, Bathsheba, born in the year 230 and 5, who was the son of Seth, and his confident wife, Aclemia, born in the year 130, who was the son of Zachary, that's Adam, and his confident wife, Nakeba, who was Eve, born in the year 1, who themselves were the son of Atum and his confident wife, Lilith, right? They dwelled in a northwestern country called Elion Hijar, which is situated between Hijaz and Syria. And you see their pictures here as you pass through the holy tablets. All right? People of the mud. So, Elion sent Shelah, just like he sent me Ahmed, right? So, Elion, so you understand what this is showing the progression of time that the Most High's word is real and it's not a joke. So he's giving you a historical account of what happens to people that listen to him and those that don't. So Elion sent Shelah, a son of the people of Thamud, who was in the prime of youth, being only 19, that's my number, years of age. He was dispatched to be the guardian of the tribe only after the commencement of the 40th year of his age. Acting comfortably with the instructions involving the disordered nation, he followed the great path. His threatening was a consequence of obstinacy, and after he preached 7 years, only a few heard his words, while the majority persisted in their evils. Shelah's uninterrupted efforts excited the adversary to such a degree that they desired to kill him. So at last they decided that on a certain holiday to kill him. Shelah was asked to proceed with his followers to a place of festivity, and from there both parties would engage in prayer to ascertain on both sides as to who had the truth, and then they all would adopt the truth of that party. So when the day of the feast arrived, they all left the town and proceeded to the place. The infidels, or the non-believers, which they employed, wanted to frustrate the cause of Shelah, like they're doing on Telegram right now. So those of you that's helping to rectify that situation, I bless you to the highest and tip my celestial hat to you. The infidels, which they employed white and black devils on Telegram, and everywhere else, but especially on Telegram, to block us. The infidels which they employed wanted to frustrate the cause of Shelah and not allow the great idol to grant him prayers. When the people of the mud had finished the devotions, the prime minister and chief mind of the tribe of Thamud, Jinder bin Umar by name, then addressed Shelah with the consent of his people. O Shelah, if your pretensions be true, and you desire us to have faith in your mission, and I can show you all through the book here that I'm on a mission, I have my own personal mission, just like YAANUWN, and assert the unity of one deity, namely Elyon, I challenge you to produce from the hard stone, which is opposite in the direction of Hijr, a she-camel with the abundance of hair, and in the 10th month of her pregnancy. Also produce at the same time from the womb of the pregnant camel a young one, perfectly resembling his mother, he feeling that this act could never be done. After Shelah had prayed and besought Elyon El Shaddai's, the Almighty's grandeur of request, the divine response arrived to the effect that a long time ago, a camel adorned with the above-mentioned properties had been created in those stones for the purpose of answering Shelah's prayer, in order to enable to enter into the covenant, and in order to make contact with the people of the mud. And if the miracle should take place, do I perform miracles, class? Yes or no? Speak it into the phone.
Yes.
That's right. 54. Jinder bin Umar with all his tribe, the mud, would have faith in the one deity, Elyon El. After the infidels had agreed to this proposal, there on the stone it commenced to increase in bulk. Because Shelah was saying to them, if I make this camel come forth, will you worship Elyon El? And they not believing this to happen, right? But there on the stone it commenced to increase in bulk, hour by hour, until it adopted the shape of a pregnant camel whose time of deliverance was at hand. Shelah and the people of the mud were looking when the stone hill began suddenly to move and wail like those of a woman in travail. They were heard proceeding from the mute rocks. The hill burst, and a camel with the above-mentioned properties emerged. The issue from it measured 100 cubits from one side to the other. This camel had at the same time delivered a young one, resembling its mother in strength, body, and stature. That was a hard birth. Jinder bin Umar, who beheld this, trembled in fear, and all of the tribe of the mud after this wished to follow Shelah. The devils in human form and human shape manifested before the idol worshippers, and the leaders of the people hindered him and accused Shelah of witchcraft. Ain't that something? They did not allow the nation to obey the precepts of their emotional sovereignty. After the she-camel was delivered of her young one, Shelah admonished the people to cherish and not to injure her, but for her watering, they asked Shelah for permission. They met at the well, and he spoke to the people at a deep well about the watering of their cattle. They decided that on alternate days the camel could drink from their well. After that, the people of the mud milked her. They obtained great quantities of milk from the camel, and they also used her wool. The she-camel shall have her drink, and you your drink, on certain days, is what Shelah said to them. When the she-camel's turn came, it went to the edge of the well. The water likewise ascended to the brim, and the she-camel drank it all up. After that, the people of the mud milked her and obtained a quantity of milk equal to the water consumed by the camel. They were also able to utilize the wool of the camel for themselves. The she-camel drank on alternate days. When the turn of the camel arrived, the people drew a double quantity of liquid, so that their cattle might not suffer on the she-camel's days. The she-camel remained with her young one for 30 years. That's the value of the letter lamb for Jesus. The she-camel was a wonderful form and had a strange countenance, being the circumstance of a dreadful aspect. The length of the body was 100 cubits, and the breadth likewise 100 cubits. It was big. She was only a sign. Listen to me. She was only a sign to the people of Elyon El. Just like every miracle I perform, every time I heal AIDS, for she was only assigned to the people of Illinois, and each of her hairs were 120 feet high. When the she-camel grazed in the summer on the top of the Wadi Valley in Kura, all the people of the mud were frightened at its extraordinary stature, and they took refuge at the bottom of the Wadi Valley, where the intensity of the heat injured them. During the winter, the she-camel went abroad aside the Wadi's valley, and the cattle went on top of it, where they became lean and weak on account of the cold, and some even died. These trials and tribulations continued for a while, but after the people were extremely harassed by them, they were determined to hamstring, cripple, and suffocate the camel. Did he tell them don't do that? When the she-camel made its appearance at the request of the people, Shelah was informed by divine inspiration that the request had been granted for his sake, and that he was to admonish to them not to injure, kill, or remove the she-camel by any means, because the destruction of the she-camel would bring on their own destruction. As predestination can neither be resisted or delayed, Shelah informed them of this message, and they assured him that they would never attempt such an act, whereupon he gave them notice that according to the divine allocation, to the divine revelations received by him, the person who would destroy the she-camel was born that very month. Accordingly, the people of the mud agreed to kill every male infant born during that period of time in order to preserve the she-camel from injury. During the month, however, 9 boys happened to be born, and they were slain in conformity with the resolution. When the 10th child entered this world, his father, whose name was Saluf, was sad and did not kill him, and named him Qudar, who became a very skilled archer when he obtained maturity. He surpassed his contemporaries in all material accomplishments. Every time Qudar met any of the 9 men who had killed their sons, he reproached them with the deed of reminding them of the killing of their sons for a madman's sake. And when they beheld his attainments, their sorrowless repentance increased until at last they began to consider Shelah to be the cause of the loss of their offspring and were inclined to murder him. They left their tribe under the pretense of a journey, concealed themselves in a cave, and intended to issue from it at midnight in order to assassinate Shelah in his sleep. Hold on. Give me a napkin down here real quick. Okay. They left their tribe under the pretense of a journey, concealed themselves in a cave, and intended to issue from it at midnight in order to assassinate Shelah in his sleep. The cave, however, suddenly collapsed over their heads, and they were buried under the debris. When the people of the mud became aware of this event, they immediately decided to damage the hamstrings of the she-camel. They wanted to rebel more. Their intentions were seconded by 2 women, Barbara and Hanama by name, who had all their lives harbored intention to kill it, the she-camel. In short, in that nation, there was an old woman of the family of the mud whose name was Anissa. She was very rich and had 13 beautiful and pleasant daughters and numerous cattle. She bore great enmity of Shelah on account of the injury which the she-camel occasionally did because it shared the pasture with her own cattle. There was also another woman in the tribe named Seduf, who was extremely prominent and beautiful. Her husband, Bedri, had become a follower of Shelah, and he had spent some of his wife's fortune to promote the way of his life. When Seduf's wife of Bedri became aware of this fact, she separated from her husband Bedri and spent the remainder of her property on hatred towards Shelah. Written in her impure mind was to kill him. There are people like that even come to class. These two women, Anisa and Saduf, associated with some of the leaders of the infidels in the matter of the she-camel. They threw lots as to who was to execute the project and selected Qadar, of course, son of Saluth, and Ashtar, the son of Maghrub, who they met accordingly and asked for one of her daughter's hand in marriage. When Saduf opened her mind to the last name of the individual, she stated that the dowry required by her would be the death of Shalah's she-camel. Anisa, on her part, also promised to let them have the most handsome of her daughters in marriage if he would hamstring the camel to kill it. Meanwhile, the women presented these two individuals with a sum of ready cash and various goods as an honor. These accused ones accordingly picked up 7 more men, Sufain, Quadria, Amatus, Atis, Fasun, Pasha, Afandi, from among the worst of the tribe, the lowlives, right? And proceeded, just like on Telegram, and proceeded to ambush the camel when it was going to drink. Masada first shot an arrow and wounded her. Thereupon Qadar, who was a short-bodied Hazelite dwarf, attacked and overtook the camel, then hamstrung, crippled her, told not to do that. When the 7 other men, Sufan, Quadria, Almatus, Atis, Fusun, Fasha, and Afandi arrived, they slaughtered the camel, and the people of the mud fought with each other to get pieces of the meat, as they did on other occasions when the she-camels were being slain for sacrifice. But on this occasion, which was a wicked event, none of the children of the descendants would eat the flesh of a camel. Now, listen to me. Listen hard to this verse. This was a reminder until the coming of the grace of Elyon El, the seal of the newsbearer, AHMAD, by name. Now, you understand what I'm saying? What the Most High is saying? That he did all this here thousands of years ago and showed them people the miracles. And he said those miracles were just a sign until the coming of the seal of the prophets, which was Mustafa Muhammad Alameen Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, until the coming of the seal of the prophets, AHMAD, by name. That's me. Now I'm here, so y'all know what time it is. Better be careful. This was a reminder until the coming of the grace of Elyon El, the seal of the newsbearer, AHMAD, by name. The young male camel was so frightened at this dreadful event that it fled to the top of the mountain. When Shalah had been informed of this abominable crime, he made his appearance amongst the people, who begged his forgiveness, assuring him that they had no knowledge of this act, and that it had been committed by those men entirely without their advice. Give me a little fan, please, Harry. On that occasion, the faithful ones among them besought Shalah. Okay. On that occasion, the faithful ones among them besought Shalah to pray that the people of the mud might be spared the misery of the threatened chastisement. He advised them to obtain from possessing from the young male camel, to stay away from the young one, hoping that by the blessings, Elyon would perhaps not punish them. The people of the mud hastened towards the mountain after the young male camel, but its summit rose by the command of Elyon so high up into the firmament that even the birds could not ascend to it. Shalah followed the people to the mountain, and when the young male camel had perceived him from the top thereof, it exclaimed twice, "Oh, Shalah, weep for my